Democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others. For more than 200 years, our flag has flown over the nation, blowing both from the left and the right. Our freedom to openly disagree has endured through prosperity and despair, peace and war, through greed and generosity. Yet that same freedom has polarized us into factions, often bringing us to a stone-hard impasse over religion, slavery, even war. Many events that changed the very fabric of this republic were decided by one vote, by a single person standing up, often against wilting pressures, to cast a vote that altered the course of our American experiment. Men like James Bayard, Edmund Ross, and Joseph Bradley are mostly forgotten to us today. Yet in their time, by their courage, and by their one vote, they altered our country as significantly as more familiar names, like Roosevelt, Kennedy, or Bush. For much of our history, the United States has been more accurately the disunited States. In fact, in only 4 moments of the past have we been truly united. George Washington's election by acclamation united us. James Madison's unopposed election in the era of good feelings united us. When Pearl Harbor was struck and when the Twin Towers fell, we were very suddenly united, this time in tragedy. Between those brief moments, struggles over race, religion, sex, economics have divided us, often by one vote. These are but a few of the many stories in this documentary series. They are all true. Infamous in his time, Aaron Burr might have become our 3rd president, but for a meeting in the back room of a Philadelphia pub, Thomas Jefferson was inaugurated in 1801 by one vote. The imposition of 7-year-old Elian Gonzalez, a Cuban refugee, into the political maelstrom of 2000 may well have allowed George W. Bush to have been elected president by one vote. The Jim Crow laws following the end of Reconstruction in the South crushed the civil rights of former slaves and their descendants for 100 years. They should not have come to pass, but sadly, they did. By one vote. 10,000 American soldiers and 500,000 civilians were killed in a war to annex the Philippines. It was never necessary, but it happened through greed and betrayal by one vote. We failed to impeach President Andrew Johnson by one vote. The North nearly lost the Civil War for lack of funding by one vote. Abortion, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and affirmative action were all contentious issues resolved by one vote. Each episode unshrouds the little-known people and events that turned our ship of state decisively toward our present.
We're not going to try to control what our people read and say and think.
The greatness of America is the right to protest.
Because I'm white doesn't mean that the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to me either.
Our first tattered flag was stitched from many pieces. Today, our unfinished nation is stitched together from many colors and creeds. What binds us together, like that stitching, is our living respect for the vote. In much of the world, it does not live. Yet here, it allows us to disagree without suicide bombs. It allows us to resolve complex issues by the will of those who stand up to vote. Factions divide us. Our history unites us. From these factions and from our disagreements, we must strive together to build a better society for all our citizens.